It's Tuesday night, and you know what that means. Welcome to Round 2 Wrestling. I am your host, SlimmDa KID, here on the 24th of January, 2023. This particular podcast will be a little bit shorter than normal. Not too many rumors to talk about, certainly not a lot of news to go over. Title matches were a little sparse this week, but we have tons of Did You Know Wrestling facts, so stay tuned for the end of this episode where we will go over those producer and fan favorite wrestling facts. But this is the beginning of our podcast, so we are going to kick things off by taking a listen to the Pro Wrestling Rumor Mill. Alright, Fightful Select notes WWE has recently held meetings for pitches for the upcoming Royal Rumble pay-per-view. Per Fightful, WWE will be discontinuing indie content on WWE Network soon. This is a bit of a bummer if you are a pro wrestling fan, because pro wrestling is much, much more than WWE. In fact, some people will tell you that the best wrestling comes from the indie circuit. So to see the major promotion that WWE is turn its back on the industry that it is a part of is kind of a sad note. However, this opens the door for other promotions to use indie content on their own. Fightful Select reports that former NWA wrestler Colby Corino is signing with WWE. Wrestling Observer Radio notes WWE is hoping to sell the company in the $8.5 billion range. Comcast, that is the TV and streaming provider, is the favorite, agreeing to more or something more between $7.4 and $8.2 billion. Now, once again, this is the rumor mill. This is all hearsay. We don't know if it's true. We don't know if WWE is actually valued that high, nor do we know if Comcast really is willing to shell out that much money to become the sole owner of WWE. Be sure to tune in to future podcasts of Round 2 Wrestling, where this rumor hopefully will turn into some actual factual news. According to Wrestling Observer Newsletter and Dave Meltzer, Cody Rhodes has not been medically cleared despite declaring for the Royal Rumble. Per Sean Ross Sapp, WWE is officially doing office cuts, quote unquote. Fightful Select reports WWE is interested in bringing back AOP and Paul Ellering. What they will be doing in WWE was not disclosed. AEW's Colt Cabana has been working as a producer lately, per Wrestling Observer Newsletter. AEW Tag Team FTR to hold off appearing on AEW TV for some time. Instead, will go work the indie circuit until they have decided they want to go back to AEW. This particular rumor I find very hard to swallow or believe. FTR is one of the most popular and sought-after tag teams in the world of professional wrestling at this point in time. I could see them staying away from AEW TV for several weeks or maybe a month or two at a time, but the ability to be seen nationwide on AEW TV is too good of an offer to pass up. And the rumor that they are interested in going back to WWE, I also find false. Because all you have to do is go back and look at the footage of their time in WWE, and it's laughable what World Wrestling Entertainment did with the greatest tag team in the world at this point in time. We are done with talking about what ifs and maybes and the rumor mill here on Round 2 Wrestling. We are going to jump over to the second part of our segment, and that is pro wrestling news. WWE and 2K confirmed WWE 2K23 will be released March 17th, 2023. John Cena is gracing the cover of this year's video game. Ring of Honor Tag Team Champion Jay Briscoe unexpectedly passed away last Tuesday. Prayers to both Ring of Honor and his surviving brother. AEW tried to hold a memorandum in Jay's honor but was shut down by Warner Brothers Media. Former 3-time IWGP US Champion and 2-time Intercontinental IWGP Champion Hiroshi Tanahashi has re-signed with New Japan Pro Wrestling. The length and terms of his contract were not released at the time of this broadcast. MLW, that is Major League Wrestling, has a new TV deal with Reels. MLW Underground Wrestling will premiere on Tuesday, February 7th. Be sure to set your DVR to Reels so you can watch the newest episodes of Underground Wrestling. Fightful Select reports Trinity Fatu, aka Naomi, the other woman wrestler to walk out on WWE last year with Sasha Banks, is set to return to WWE TV in some capacity. Former WCW wrestler Buff Bagwell updates his recovery from drug addiction, completed his rehab and 90-day aftercare. Buff Bagwell has been staying sober for over 148 days. As a recovering addict myself, this is no small feat. Kudos to Buff Bagwell and his 148 days clean. Hopefully 148 more are in his immediate future. Frontline Pro, a military veteran-run wrestling promotion that raises funds for non-profit veteran organizations, joins the premier streaming network. Current Impact Wrestling tag team, the Motor City Machine Guns, set to make their GCW debuts March 5th at GCW's Ransom at the Showboat in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Okay, that concludes pro wrestling news. We are going to jump over to the third portion of Round 2 Wrestling, title matches. Our title matches this week are going to be a bit short. Not a lot of promotions around the world had gold up for grabs, but what was defended, we will give you those exclusive results right here, right now. Sorry about that. A little bit of music to go along with that third bell. Billy Starks defeated New South Women's Champion Kenzie Page to become the New South Women's Wrestling Champion. A referee reversal for the New South Women's Championship saw Kenzie Page actually retain her title over Billy Starks. AEW All-Atlantic Champion Orange Cassidy defeated Jay Lethal to retain the AEW All-Atlantic Championship. AEW TNT Champion Darby Allin defeated Kushida to retain the AEW TNT Championship. GCW Tag Team Champions Los Mazizos defeated the East West Express to retain the GCW Tag Team titles. Raw Tag Team Champions The Usos defeated Judgment Day to retain the Raw Tag Team Championship. WWE US Champion Austin Theory defeated Bobby Lashley to retain the WWE United States Championship. Impact X Division Champion Trey Miguel defeated Crazy Steve to retain the X Division Championship. All right, I was not kidding. That is the conclusion of all the title matches that we could find here on Round 2 Wrestling. We are at the end of this particular podcast, and we are going to conclude it with a producer and fan favorite. Did you know are little bits of information and facts about the pro wrestling world that you may or may not have known about. You gotta love the bell. Did you know the first wrestler to win a match at WrestleMania was Tito Santana? He went on to lose his next 7 WrestleMania matches. Did you know WWE Hall of Famer Jake the Snake Roberts never held a title in WWF/WWE? Did you know Brock Lesnar is a former IWGP World Champion? Did you know AJ Styles is the only wrestler to hold world titles in New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact, NWA, and WWE? Did you know CM Punk is the fastest WWE Triple Crown champion, achieving this feat in an astonishing 8-month span? Did you know ECW legend Tajiri is a former CZW champion? And for those of you who don't know what CZW is, that stands for Combat Zone Wrestling, the epitome of hardcore wrestling today. Did you know former WWE Cruiserweight Champion JB Noble is a former Ring of Honor World Champion? Did you know Marvel Comics owned the name Hulk Hogan from 1984 until 2004? Every match Hogan wrestled in, Marvel was paid $100. A quick side note to this particular fact, when Hulk Hogan decided to add the Hollywood moniker to his name, he no longer had to pay Marvel the $100. Did you know Macho Man Randy Savage's first wrestling persona was the Spider, based off of the comic book hero Spider-Man? Flash forward to 2002, Randy Savage would play a wrestler called Bonesaw in the Spider-Man movie. Did you know a WWE camera is valued at over $80,000? So when you see 2 or 3 cameras around the ring or in the arena, you're looking at almost $250,000 worth of equipment. Astonishing. Did you know Mick Foley is the first WWF wrestler to have different entrance and exit themes? Did you know the largest crowd Vince McMahon Sr. ever booked was the Showdown at Shea on August 9th, 1980? 32,695 fans showed up at Shea Stadium in Queens, New York to watch Vince McMahon Sr.'s wrestling promotion. All right, that is the conclusion of Round 2 Wrestling. I am your host, SlimmDa KID, and I personally want to thank you for tuning into this brand new podcast. If you are in Michigan here at the beginning of February, and in particular the Metro Detroit Waterford area, be sure to check out Combat One's Love Hurts pay-per-view. I am SlimmDa KID, and once again, I want to thank you for tuning into this podcast. Be sure to tune in next week as I bring you more rumors, more results, and more news from the world of professional wrestling. Round 2 Wrestling is brought to you by SlimmDa KID at Spreaker.com.